house in the house.
What is up, YouTube? SK Isuma here once again. So I'm back early this week, and this week I'm not actually gonna be, attacking anyone or defending anyone or offending anyone. But this week I'm gonna be doing something different. Well, this video I'm gonna be doing something different. So, like in the middle of my weekend, I was actually on Bless playing, and I had a friend actually message me on Discord asking me, he's like, "Hey, how you doing? How's the game?" And I was like, "Yeah, the game was fun. The game was great." And he had bought the game already too, and he was wondering just how I was doing. And then he kind of asked me a question that surprised me a little. And his question was, "What video did you watch to make you want to keep playing Bless?" And that kind of caught me off guard because I was kind of like, "What? What do you mean? What video did I watch to make me want to keep playing Bless?" Like, I've been waiting for this game for 8 years now, so that's kind of what made me want to play Bless in the first place, even though it has no brand new shiny mechanics like every other game that's out right now. And at that point, I had to flash back to like back when Bless was revealed, back when Blade & Soul was revealed, back when Black Desert was first revealed, and I had to think about what made me want to play all these games. And for Black Desert, it was because the superior graphics, the way things looked with the gameplay, and the fact that it was going to be action combat. Blade & Soul was because Blade & Soul kind of looked like it was action combat, but then the fact that you can fly through the sky. But Bless, it was just because it looked, I don't know, it looked nostalgic. And thinking about that, like, I couldn't really come up with a reason to why I wanted to play Bless as much as I did. Like, I had no information on the game. I went into the game completely not knowing what I was getting into. I had no idea how to level. I had no idea what the skills were like. I had no idea if there was a class change in the game, like later on in the levels. I still have no idea if any of these things are, intended for the game, because the game isn't even fully done yet. Apparently the level cap for the game is level 60. So I'm just like, I don't know anything about this game at this point. Like, I just found out there was apparently a Mystic class that was supposed to be coming out. And that's just a whole nother mind blower right there, because I'm just like, ooh, well, I like the healer. So would I want to try out the Mystic? Because Mystics in certain other games are healers as well. But then, in other games, Mystic are considered the off-class sorcerer. So I was kind of struggling, because I'm just like, I don't know what you mean, what video, because I've never watched a video that made me want to keep playing Bless. Like, the initial video they released for G-Star way back in 2010 is the video that initially made me want to play Bless, and it looked exactly the same as it does now to me. But I guess to pretty much go ahead and answer that question, when we want to keep playing Bless, like, to answer the question without saying that there's a video involved, because there was no video involved, it's just to say that I was entranced with the wonder of Bless. Like, I'm always entranced with the wonder of world building in an MMO. And Bless seemed like one of those games where, there's a giant world out there and there's always going to be something to do. Like, there's world bosses, there's taming monsters, there's taming pets, there's these dungeons you can do, there's PvP you can always do, there's open world PvP, there's PvP events, there's PvP like raid battles, there's just so much you can do in the game to not be bored. Of course, not all that stuff is out yet in the game right now, but there's a possibility for that stuff to be implemented into the game within the near future. So I kind of asked him, why did you feel like you needed something to actually make you keep playing the game? And he said, well, he doesn't like, the fighting style or whatever. And I remember when I first started playing games with this guy, because me and him have been friends for a long time. And the first game we played together was Dragon Nest. And Dragon Nest is an action combat game. Like, there's dodges, there's combos, there are wall bounces, there are pickups, drops, there's iframes and everything. That's the type of PvP game that he's used to playing. And this is, I think, his very first click action combat tab targeting game next to Final Fantasy. But I don't think he actually lasted that long in Final Fantasy either. And I think he tried out WoW, he didn't like WoW, so I'm thinking he doesn't really fit well into the tab targeting game market. And this game is more or less going to be tab targeting until they release action combat for whatever classes they do release it for. Whereas my first game was actually a tab target game called Fiesta Online, and that game was purely tap target all the way through. This was before action combat MMOs were even, I guess, considered to be a thing that was gonna happen. This is back in 2006, I believe, when I first got my first laptop. And yeah, I played games on the laptop. I think I've said that before in another video. But, like, that game pretty much set it up to where I played a game for, I want to say, the greater part of 4 years, maybe 5 years. And I've raided in that game, I've done PvP in that game, I've done wars in that game. The game didn't have that much content to say it was like, you know, Bless Online or Blade and Soul or Black Desert when it comes to content, or even WoW when it comes to content. But it had enough content to keep me interested at the time, which short attention span at the time. I had a job, I had to go to school and everything. I was 16, so. But yeah, so the game kind of set me up to like know what it is like to be on the struggling side, because I started playing the game right after the very first open beta for the game. And I think the cap was what, 59 at the time? And now the cap for that game is somewhere in the 130s. And they increased caps by like 20 levels at one point, and 10 levels. And then out of nowhere they did a good, what, I want to say it was, they went from 89 to 115, and then they went from 115 to 120, and 120 to 125, and then to 135. I believe that's how the cap levels actually went up. I stopped at 115 because I was just like, okay, this is getting too money intensive. It's asking for way too much money to play the game, and I'm not down for that right now. And that game was pretty pay to win. Like, I think people say that Ion is the worst pay to win game at the moment, and that game is still out, and I think it actually rivals Ion when it comes to pay to win. It's just not many people know about that game anymore. But yeah, y'all caught me kind of slipping around. Reasons. What are your reasons for actually leaving the game? Not because, you know, you hopped on the bandwagon train of refunding just to get your money back or whatever. But yeah. So if you please leave a comment below.